What's up, everybody? So today I want to talk about the pros and the cons of owning your own business. So my name is Tara, and if you're new here, I sell skincare products over on Etsy, and I do it all on my own. I don't have a team or anybody who helps me. I also obviously make YouTube videos, so I do have two jobs, even though they are similar because they have to do with making skincare products. They are still two separate jobs. So this is coming from the perspective of somebody who makes handmade items, sells them online, and who works two jobs. So depending on what business you're planning on going into or what business you currently are running, the pros and cons may be different. And obviously everybody has different perspectives on things. So a pro to me may be a con to you, and a con to me may be a pro to you. So with all that said, let's get into it. And I think I want to go ahead and talk about the cons first. That way we can end on a high note and talk about the pros last. So the first con is you can't shut it off. And what I mean by that is, since I sell online, I have an appearance on the internet, since I am a YouTuber and I have an Instagram, it's all connected to my phone. And obviously my phone is basically attached to my hip, just like it is for most people. You can turn off your notifications, which does give you a sense of relief. I actually just turned off my notifications for everything maybe 4 months ago, and this really helped my mental health so much. There'd be times where I'd be out to dinner with like my boyfriend or with some friends, and I'd get an email, a message, a comment on YouTube. I guess I shouldn't talk about YouTube because we're talking about business here, but I would just get, a message, and there'd be a problem, and it would just ruin the rest of my evening. I would be texting back and forth with this person the rest of the night trying to solve the problem, or I would just be thinking about it the whole time, or I would just walk away and it would take me like a solid 30 minutes to write something out to a customer. So basically, it's really hard to shut it off, not only because of the notifications that you can receive randomly throughout your day, which my advice is to turn those off. Best thing I could have ever done. But also, you're just constantly thinking about it. When you have your normal job where you go to work and then you come home, you have that sense of separation. So I hope you guys are getting what I mean. I could ramble about this for a long time, trying to keep it short. Got a lot to talk about. But yeah, it's just hard to shut it off. So it's Luna, I'm sorry if my cat meows. But yeah, so it's really important to, have a separation of work life and home life. That's so important. And I'm still struggling with that. And I do think this is a con because it's a really hard thing to struggle with, because sometimes it's hard to control your thoughts, and I'll just be sitting there thinking about my job when times I shouldn't be thinking about my job. Every penny counts. So specifically what comes to my mind with this is, like, don't just buy a bunch of inventory. I feel like I talk about not buying a lot of inventory a lot, but there's many reasons why you shouldn't buy a lot of inventory. Specifically, what I'm talking about here is that you don't want to buy inventory that you don't think you're going to be using right away. You don't want to buy too much of your inventory because things can go bad, or maybe you'll decide you don't want it anymore. For example, when I first opened my business, I stocked up on thousands of plastic bottles, and then eventually I decided I wanted to switch to glass. So I still currently have not all the plastic bottles I used to, but a good amount, which is fine because I do make YouTube videos and I can use those for that. Also, if people I know purchase things, I can get the cost value down and package it in plastic instead. And some people prefer plastic that I know in my everyday life. So you really want to be mindful on your purchases with your business. And also, you don't want to be undercutting yourself with your sales. There's a lot I can talk about with every penny counts. There's a lot I can talk about with all these, but we gotta keep it short. My next con, I just wrote, it's hard, which, yeah, it's hard to be your own boss. It's hard to progress in your dreams and your goals. It can be hard to get up and motivate yourself to work. It can be hard to keep your mental health intact, to keep your physical health intact while you're running a business, because it's so easy just to be working all day and not even think about anything else because you just want to get to the next step. Basically, it's hard. That's all I'm gonna say. It's hard. Not seeing a profit. So this was an issue I had for the first couple years, I'd say probably the first like 2 years, 2.5. There was a little bit of profit. I was making more than I was purchasing, which was really, really good for starting a business. A lot of businesses actually do stay in debt for about the first 5 years. I did a lot of research on this when I first started my business because I was just only making a little bit of profit. So I was Googling a lot, like, you know, when do businesses start making a profit, yada, yada, yada. And the common number I found was 5 years. Personally for me, I'm actually making a good solid profit now. I've been doing this for 3 to 4 years. I can't really quite remember. Time just gets away from me. But from the beginning, I have always been making a profit, which is really, really good. I'm very thankful for that. But if you're not seeing a profit within the first couple years, that is normal. But I don't want you to make the mistake of continuously doing your business if you're not seeing a profit for so long to where it ends up hurting you financially. I'm hoping you are able to make your own decisions on all that, and I don't want to talk about this too much. Do keep in mind it is hard to make a profit, and I don't really believe that everybody really can succeed with a business. I don't even know how much longer I'll be able to succeed with my business. You know, I'm hoping things keep going well, but not every business lasts forever. Not every business ends up working out. No matter how well you do everything, there's a lot of different scenarios that can come in. So just know it's really hard to make a profit, and don't go into it expecting like you're gonna make tons of money right off the bat, because it takes time to eventually build a profit. I'm sorry if you hear like clanking and like running. It's my cat. She's really hyper right now. Taxes. Taxes are so confusing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Taxes are hard. And I never plan on doing a video over taxes. I don't feel I am qualified enough to do a video all on taxes. Hidden expenses. Okay, so what I think I meant by this is like your hidden expenses, like your electricity, your gas bill, driving to the post office. Personally for me, I have my mailman pick up my packages, which you can do that. Go on USPS.com, schedule a pickup to have the mailman come and pick up your packages from your porch. Keep in mind there's a lot more than just your supplies and inventory that are expenses. Computers, desks, paper, pencils, pens, office supplies, those are hidden expenses. There's a lot of things that you don't really think of that you need to buy for your business until you start doing your business. Like I have to buy a lot of rubbing alcohol for sterilization, paper towels, yeah, the list goes on. No help. So for me specifically, like I said, I do this all on my own. I know a lot of people have a team or like a partner with their business. For me personally, I do it all on my own, and it is lonely. I talked about this in my last video, things I wish I knew before I started my business, which I recommend going and watching if you like this video. I'll link down below to my entire playlist with all my business related videos, so you can go watch those. But yeah, it's hard not having any help. It does get lonely, and sometimes I kind of just want someone else's opinion, which yeah, I can go to my friends and my family for opinions, but I really don't like bothering them. I guess I just feel like I need to do it all on my own, I guess. I don't know, maybe I need to get better at that. But basically, yeah, if you are starting a business on your own, you're not gonna have any help. It does get lonely, and it is hard doing it all on your own, and sometimes it's hard making decisions on your own too. It's easier to have a partner to discuss things with, so you can have like an outside perspective. Being constantly unsure, and I feel like this kind of ties in with the last one I talked about. When I go to make a decision, there's always that part in the back of my mind that's like, is this the right decision? Is this what I should do? I'm just always constantly unsure. I get a lot of questions from you guys asking me about things with your business that you're unsure about. And the funny thing is I was unsure about all these things as well. I had no idea how mailing things really worked when I started it. When I started my business, I just went into it and I just learned as I went, and I just Googled everything. That's how I learned everything I basically know was Google. I know Google isn't always the best method. You can find some pretty wrong things on Google, but for the most part, it's worked out really well when it comes to my business things that I need to do. There's lots of different YouTubers who make content on selling online, whether it's Etsy or your own websites. There's just a lot of knowledge online, and I really recommend using that because that is how I got to where I am. But yeah, so it's normal to be unsure about things, and yeah, that's just another thing that sucks about it. So let's move on to the pros. The first pro is you get to make your own hours. This is the best part about having your own business. I mean, there's nothing more I can say. You make your own hours. You can work whenever you want. It's the best. You get to make it your own. And what I mean by that is you get to just spew all of your creativity into what you create. And it's such a sense of satisfaction just looking at my shop, seeing how many sales I've had, looking at my reviews, seeing how many reviews I've had, and just hearing people's responses to my products. It's such a satisfying feeling, and the fact that I was able to make it myself just makes it even more satisfying. Now, there's nothing wrong with private labeling, but when you're private labeling your products, you're not making those yourself. You're just buying them and then reselling them, which is awesome. It's a great way to make money. It's so less stressful not making the products yourself. But there's a different level of satisfaction when you make it yourself, all on your own, and you get to create it however you want. This one is right up there with make your own hours. The fact that you have no boss. Now, I never really had any bad bosses, but I've always let everyone really push me around whenever I worked like real jobs. I was always that person that did all my work, which is good, you know, I had great work ethic. I did all my work, I did everything I possibly could. But there were times where all my other employees weren't doing anything and I was doing everything. And just the fact that my boss couldn't see that, I think, is what made me not like specific bosses. I hated when you had a boss that didn't appreciate the fact that you did everything, not everything, but 80% of the things. And there were other employees who didn't do everything, but they favored those employees because their daughter was best friends with them, or they've known them since they were 5. I live in a small town, so I dealt with that a lot. I dealt with bosses playing favorites because they knew them, their daughter knew them, their son knew them. They just, you know, knew each other before they went into work. So they played favorites, and those people got to be more lazy. If you live in a small town, you know what I'm talking about. But I dealt with that a lot, bosses playing favorites, and I think that was my biggest issue when it came to bosses. Basically, love the fact that I'm my own boss because it's nice not being told what to do. My next pro is that it's fun. So I know I've said a lot of cons before, but overall it really is a lot of fun, specifically the creativity aspect. I even like packaging up orders and making them look pretty. Sometimes I don't when I've got a lot of orders and I'm stressed out, but when I'm in a good headspace, I love it. And I like making my products, and I like after they're done and putting them together and then looking at them and then taking pictures is fun. Like, it's all really, really fun. It's just sometimes you can get sort of just stuck in a routine, and you see it as work more than, you know, your passion. And I think that's a mistake a lot of people make, and I make a lot, is that I forget that this was a hobby at first. This was fun. I made my own skincare products at first before I sold them as a hobby, as something to do for fun. And it's important to remind yourself that this is fun. That's why you started doing it. So you need to really remember that. It may be your work, but it's also your hobby and you love it. I mean, for me personally. Seeing someone enjoy your product. Oh my gosh, my favorite thing is when people send me messages, like personal messages, and lets me know how much they loved my product. Obviously, I love reviews, but since I don't get notifications anymore, I don't really see when people review my products. I have to actually go into Etsy and then go look at my reviews, which honestly I don't think about too often. I don't know why. I need to start doing that more. I had somebody message me the other day, and they were telling me how much my products has cleared their acne, and that makes me so happy because when you think about it on a deeper level, your products have probably helped boost their self-esteem. I don't know if they're in school, but I'm imagining them being in school and just feeling so much more confident with their clear skin. It just makes me so happy when you think about it on a deeper level, how much you've impacted them. And especially when it comes to YouTube, I know this isn't my business, this is my other job, so I know you don't probably relate to this, but it just makes me so happy when people message me and tell me that my videos inspire them. And yeah, it makes me really happy seeing people enjoy my products and my content. It's an indescribable feeling. You create your own wealth. And what I mean by this is that you literally made that money from your own hard work and your own creativity. There is like a different relationship I have with my money now than I did before, back before I was self-employed. It's almost like buying that $5 Starbucks drink has more meaning to it. And you know that $5 you made from your own blood, sweat, and tears. And you're just gonna drink that Starbucks drink with a different feeling of like just passion. I really don't know how to describe it, but your money just becomes so much more meaningful, and you're more mindful with where your money is going and how you're spending it. Yeah, it's really an indescribable thing, and I really love the connection that I have with my money now, because it truly feels like mine, and I truly feel like I'm actually really working for it. And yeah, I do have to work harder and smarter, but I really love it. It's like a game, you know? I don't know, I've seen every single job I've had in life as a game, and it's just a funner way to think of it. And lastly, success feels good. It just feels so good to, you know you're doing well. When I look at how many sales I've had on Etsy, it's an indescribable feeling. I know I keep saying that, but it's really hard to express like how I feel. When I just see people message me, it's so indescribable. It feels so good. Yeah, you may not be making as much money from your business as you did from your previous job, but it feels really good, and that feeling almost makes up for it. And hopefully later down the line, you will be making more money than you did before, you know, back when you worked a normal job. But yeah, it just feels really good, and I love seeing the community I created here on YouTube, and I love seeing just my customers enjoy my products, and seeing my customers come back. When people repurchase things on Etsy, they have like a little star, and I've noticed so many more stars lately. It feels so good. I love it. It's just indescribable. But yeah, so those are the pros and cons of owning a business. I know this video is really long, but I really just wanted to lay out my pros and my cons. Let me know what the pros and cons are for you and your business. Leave it down in the comment below. If it's a good one, I'll pin it for people to see. And yeah, let's move on to the Patreon shoutouts.
At Stardust Bath & Body, Nature's Farm Girl, Kennedy's Essentials, Let's Blend, Creative with Love, Wallflower Wildflower, Heartfelt Beauty, at Sugared_Pineapple, KAJ Bath & Body, Blue Mint Soaps, Say Tara, at Salt Air Label, Lunice Beauty, Ardure Naturals, Shark City Naturals, Ohana Lay, at Danny Botanicals, Eclectic Beauty Cosmetics, Escape Bath & Body, and EC Naturals. Also, I sell products myself over on Etsy. Go check out my Etsy shop. It'll be linked down below, along with all my lovely patrons.
But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope whatever you decide to do, whatever business you start, you thrive and you just do amazing. I love seeing people make money from their own hard work and their own creativity. It's just so amazing. I love seeing how many entrepreneurs there are nowadays. It just makes me so happy. Our generation really seems to be making a lot of their own money from their own hard work. I get on Instagram and I see a lot of people I used to work with, I went to school with, starting their own little just side job. And even if it is just a side job, it's just so cool seeing people do this. I love it. It makes me so happy. I want to cry thinking about it. I love seeing people succeed, and that's another reason why I do my channel. I want you guys to know what I know, because I know this stuff is hard to find, and I know it's hard work starting a business, and it's nice just getting online and seeing someone else talk about it from a real perspective. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Later.
I'm stuck in the motions. I've been consumed by the wrath of time, like I'm I'm shattered in this life. It's still the path that I've chosen, because I've had a vision. Now I'm on a mission to find myself.